football in the modern era, right? And the idea that players have become robotic and maybe overly coached and too much reliant on being system pieces. Do you think football has lost something? Do you think there's magic that has been removed from it? Is it still as beautiful as when Pele dubbed it the beautiful game?
What he also did say, right, Jay, is that everyone wants to be like Pep and they're poor versions of that. And I think that's what we're seeing. And because they are imitations of
Sorry,
You know
continue.
because they're not quite cracking it, or they're poor versions of that, then we'll lose something because it's not quite that. I mean, yeah, Lamal is special, but if he's trying to be the next Messi, then he's never going to be that. But if he's going to be, I mean, Lamal, then we're like, okay, that's something special. And that's what's supposed to be with every team or every version of every side under each manager. But if we're all trying to do 3-4-3, let's do the Pep Guardiola thing. Let's do a player who's going to invert, a player who's going to be like, guys, we can't always all do the same tactics because for that for that for that kind of play, the outcomes are that Jay, you get a Ruben Amorim who says, I need players who are going to play in my system. Like, so really, are you telling me that the players that you have can't do it at all? If they can't do your system, they can't play football. And if I look at it from that lens, Jay, you're like, you can't work with them. These players are broken. They can't fit in your system. Therefore, it doesn't work. If I think about how Jose Mourinho kept saying, "Oh, the reason why Luke Shaw had a good game is because I was on the touchline coaching him." And you're like, so if you if you don't tell him anything, he's not gonna play a good game. And so I think we've lost a lot of magic yet because the machine of Pep Guardiola was magical. It was the envy of lots of sides, lots of teams that you look at them and you're like, well, I get it. I saw a video explaining how Tiki Taka worked, talking about it's not just passing in triangles, but on every channel, right? If you speak about vertically, you can only have two players per channel, whether you're talking about the either wings, the half space, or the center. Per horizontal line, only maximum 3 players. And you're like, those are the moving parts. And you're like, at that level, then I think of Tabang Munar Magati when the coach speaks about big words. Players don't understand. And he just has to dumb it down. I know, coach says you're playing well. Because it's just too technical at that point. It's just too intricate at that point. Whereas it is the beautiful game. So it's one of those things where, Jay, you think about it, Guti, everyone's on Studio Ghibli. Like, oh, that's a great animation style. Let's all do it. You see it on social media. We're all doing it. And so because I can't draw and create something like that, I'm going to go on the app and do the same thing as everyone else. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's lost its magic because everyone else is doing it. So I think, Jay, I definitely agree with him. I mean, you were speaking about, I think, a couple of weeks back that we don't have wingers that take players on one-on-one anymore. We don't have those magical, like the Hazards are gone. They're gone because Hazard has to track back now. Hazard has to play in a particular role. You can't just give Hazard the ball and say, play and have fun. So I think, Jay, yeah, we've lost something in the game. It's what you see, what the game has become tactically is what you see on VAR as well. I saw a decision, someone was offside. And like, guys, switch off the machines if that's what we're judging it on. On your ear. You're offside based on the size of your ear. So, yeah, man, it's become too technical. It's no longer magic.
Yeah, the artists, I say, and I've been bemoaning this for years. The artists are gone, and it's sad, Chuck, because essentially what football is, it's a children's game, right? And I'll tell you, as a child, when I most enjoyed playing football was when it was raining, right? And like we just you tackling each other in the mud, or if you playing on the gravel, on the sand, and you do a skill, then someone goes sliding across, you absolutely really send them to not the kitchen, but kitchens 10 streets down, and in the professional sense, Chuck, we watch sport as an escape, right? We watch it, we root for our teams and we wear the colors. And at the professional level, I've said this, and I stand by this, that we play to win. That is the goal. That's why guys, why it's commercialized and guys are paid, and it's their job. And so, like, winning is everything. But at the same time, it's also entertainment. You also do want to see entertainment, and that's why you have had a category develop of players the streets will never forget, because there's something about that. Even like in the worst case scenario, even if it does not lead to winning football, it leaves a mark. Like it stains you as someone who loves the game and is watching what is happening. But we've had players who would quote unquote fit that mold, but also led to winning football. You think of Brazilian Ronaldo, prior to Messi, my favorite player of all time, and you think of your Ronaldinho's, that I say the reason Ronaldinho is not in the GOAT conversation is because he didn't do it as long. But for as long as he did it, it was entertainment. Like we used to call in our friendship group him or Zidane like Morena or Paul, meaning like the god of football, the king of football. Because, and it was not because, oh man, look at him sticking to
Pressing.
his role, look at him pressing with everything that he has, or look at him putting up the goals and assists, the stats that we absolutely love in this day and age. But it was magic when you see like Ronaldinho's highlights, for example. You see him doing what he does to Gattuso, the double step over. You see him like taking the ball over guys where he's looping it over his head and he's looping it back over his head. It's not going anywhere, mind you, but it gives you a feeling, Chuck. It's like, oh man, these guys are able to manipulate the ball in ways that you can't even imagine that you can do that, and it's like that's awe inspiring. And my type of footballers are your Eden Hazards. Like I absolutely loved Coutinho at Liverpool. And just being able to be given the space where you can do something off the cuff, because there's a genius that comes across in your mind in the middle of the game. Because what inspires a guy to say, let me take them all on? It's something that is not available to you and I. But now, if you were to attempt that, because the thing is, that's a risky approach. And if they win the ball off of you, you're out of position, and it's like, look at what's happening with our rest defense now, and you're not there to plug the hole. And the fact that you see guys, like, I'm an Arsenal fan, I watch Arsenal, and I've said to you this entire season that it's so risk averse, the football that Arsenal play. You see, instead of going into the block, they want to go like outside of it. They want to restructure. Let's pass it back. Let's build up again. Let's get into our structures again. And it's so mind numbing. Like you get that the players are chess pieces on the board for coaches. And yes, the one who's most tactically astute is the one who's invariably tends to come out on top, coaching against those other minds. But it has become too technical. It has become too rigid. It has become too robotic. And we like it. It's great, right?
Yeah.
But that's also why you saw the trend of the Barclays men at some point in the season, looking back at an era in Premier League football where guys were just going up and down, up and down.
It was the like, SG. I'm hitting this.
There was some chaos into it. There was some, okay, this is not as controlled as maybe it can be, or we've seen it become, but that's good. Because and that's what art does. When you are looking at an art piece, or you're watching a movie, or you're listening to a particular song, it's not because it follows a very like a step by step routine in terms of what makes it good. It's because it speaks to you, Chuck. It it invokes emotions where you weren't even prepared for that. Like we're going into it, like the moment the beat drops, like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, what's happening here? So football is missing some of that in latterly in what we are watching as the product, and it's sad. It really is sad.